Don't have. There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's newest indoor adventure in the wild beyond the Witchlight, Part 11, The Forest of Thither. That's right, it's Thither. It's a weird fucking name, but that's what this entire campaign has been so far. Today is March 27th, 2022, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards where anywhere audio casts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. But speaking of things that are being made available for free, we have our Patreon set up at patreon.com/indooradventures where you can gain access to our after show. Again, it's being made all available for free. We just have it hosted on the Patreon. Easiest way, it's basically just a Q&A, a really simple after show where you ask us questions, we ask each other questions, we do our best to respond to them in kind. The easiest way to ask us those questions is either to post them in the Twitch chat to the side, or maybe that's not the best way because, hey, guess what? We have a Discord set up where you can hang out with all of these lovely and fine folk, as well as post all of those questions to our Questions for the Courts chat, an area of that Discord where we can see them much easier. So consider checking that out. But let's say that you already support us on Twitch, you already support us on Patreon and YouTube and all of those other wonderful places, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this fantastic show even more? Guess what, buddy? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, and soon, not soon, I mean soon as in now, we have face masks. That's right, we have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat, designed by our very own Cyberwolf 1201 in all 5 of Tiamat's glorious chromatic colors. Go and check it out. All of the proceeds of our merch currently goes to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause or possibly help support the show, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So, hey, RJ, who are you playing today?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and today I'm playing Vice, the Tiefling Rogue.
And hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I'll be playing Lowry, our Hexblood Spore Druid.
Hello everyone, I am Mediaflare. Please help, my beard is taking over my body. And I am playing Pamferdam, the Gnome Artificer.
Hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm playing as Clout, the Tiefling Bard.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, last we left off, it was a rather wonderful encounter with a individual named Bavlorna Blightclaw. And we say wonderful with the most, grimace, shifty eyes that we possibly can. Lowry had almost died to a gelatinous cylinder that was placed inside of Bavlorna's water well in her moisturizing pool. That's a gross word, but that's exactly what it was. She then, at your behest, took you to her treasure room, where she brought you none other than your dear friend Clapperclaw's dear head, as well as was going to give you the pipe that, once puffed on, could restore Pamferdam's artistic ability. However, that shit was gone. Not only was that shit gone, there was some thread that was gone, a bunch of stuff was missing, and as it turns out, that a Darkling Elder named Charm was responsible for the thievery. It was at that point that Bavlorna found it in the kindness of her deep and soggy heart to request the aid of you and actually bring you into her services. It was at this point that she and you all agreed that if you were to bring her a portrait of her sister, Skabatha, that she would help you even more on your quest. What that quest is, she's not really sure, to be fair, but she did say that she would assist you in any way that she could, as well as restore, well, you guys are asking for quite a few things from Bavlorna, so she has agreed to help in exchange for this portrait, as well as let you know quite a few things about her sister's Skabatha, as well as Endolin. Not so much from Endolin, mostly on Skabatha. But it was at that point that she also said that she would assist you by giving you one of her swamp gas balloons to traverse the fog between hither and thither, the next stage of your adventure. Where we ended last session, Pamferdam, you and Clapperclaw went up to your room to work on the next stage of your machinations. Clout and Vice and Lowry all played a wonderful tune for our dear friend Whisper that resulted not exactly in some heated words, I would necessarily feel, but tensions are a little high, resulting in...
We should have stopped at the song. The problem was we kept drinking.
That indeed was the problem. As Vice laid out a backstory and a history of himself that may or may not be true, leaning more heavily on the not true, but it was fun while it lasted. At that point, Clout and Lowry went upstairs to their respective rooms to go to sleep. Vice, you looked into your drink and saw that there was the shape of a set of horns into the shape of a crown with a large floating gem in the middle of it. It was at that point that you decided that you were going to take a step out of the inn at the end of the road, and that is where we ended last week's session. So, with that in mind, Vice, you are going out into the night air of Hither. Is there anything that you wanted to do specifically while you were out? Or are you just going for a little bit of a walkabout?
Just going for a little bit of a walkabout. I think he reaches into his coat, pulls out a pipe, puts like some tobacco into it, lights it with a match, and just ruminates.
Okay. So you are ruminating while smoking. Lowry, when you go back up to your room, as you had stated earlier, you're not exactly too one way or the other about the fact that most of your clothes were damaged after being consumed almost entirely by the gelatinous cylinder. But one of the things that did get injured in a sort of state was indeed your large mushroom hat while you were inside, as the gelatinous cylinder consumes all things organic, and nothing is more organic, we think, than a hat made of mushroom. And you can see that it does have some wear and tear on it. Some of the smaller caps seem to be actually worn away for the most part. And for you, Lowry, this has been a very strenuous set of days, I would feel, in that you came to the carnival at the behest of the head of your book club. You came here to help people. That's what you've wanted to do ever for the longest time since you can remember. You've wanted to help others. And being here, it has felt almost in a way like a two steps forward, one step back kind of situation, where every time that you think that you're able to help somebody, Vice kills a rabbit man. Every time that you think that you're helping in a situation, people are sacrificing themselves for your cause, a cause that you don't necessarily believe in. And then even then, going into the soggy court and experiencing firsthand this revolution, as it were, even with the meat kill as Illig described it, there is still something inherently in a way painfully nostalgic of this, I would feel. In that every time you see these people doing their best to, or doing what they think is the right option, they aren't listening when you are attempting to speak. And I think that is, it's painful in the sense of that's kind of what happened a while back before you became a member of the book club, before you discovered this hat made of mushroom. And as you're looking at it grow and regrow, as you cannot kill mushrooms in a way that matter, and they seem to find a new sense of being able to actually reconstitute themselves. And then hearing Pamferdam, or having heard Pamferdam talk about, like, surviving through a revolution, hearing Vice in this shoddy backstory of his talking about how he experienced a war and went through that as well. It's very difficult to not feel like you're there again, like you're not surrounded by your old party again in the moments that would lead up to you joining the book club.
Lowry's going to take her head off and set it on the desk in her room, because it's probably about as far as she can go magically tonight. And she'll open the window and wild shape into a spider.
Big
And
spider,
she'll go-
little spider. Because druids can go giant spiders, so, like, how big?
I mean, how big is the window, first of all?
The
No,
windows... yeah.
just a spider,
Okay.
just to get climb up onto the roof. And she is going to just come out of her wild shape. She just needed it to get up there and stare up at the sky, laying back against the roof. No, Sunrise, I don't care what you think about them. I don't care that you find him cute. No, Farron, I swear, if you start, Wolf, I don't want to hear your self-righteous bullshit. It's gonna happen all over again, isn't it?
And you hear Netmunch? Netmuch? Is that their name? I would say from the... Netmuck. From the voices that always seem to... They're not voices in the way that one might be able to audibly detect them, but these are sources of... There is a communication, there's a rapport, right, in this? You hear them say, when you say, it's going to happen again, isn't it? You hear your dwarven friend say, isn't it always? You're trying to trust them so hard. And look where that's getting you.
I wish I never learned to make a damn map in my life. And she'll just lay back and cry, and there's just a very quiet, sad song in Druidic. Sounds a bit folkish.
And I would say you hear the others. You hear Tur's wonderful cackle that always seemed to arise at any moment say, but if you never learned how to make maps, where would you be now? You wouldn't know, because you wouldn't have a map.
Fuck you, Tur.
And you just continue having this moment to yourself. How loud is your song? Because you're singing on the roof and there is somebody outside.
I mean, she's singing and crying. It's not like she's meant for people to hear her. It's kind of a self-soothing thing,
Okay.
I would think. But it's like, what, a 2-story building? So
Yeah.
if
2-story and some
nearby,
leg.
yeah, if Vice is nearby outside, he's gonna hear it. Maybe
Okay.
not clearly, but...
Yeah, Vice, make a perception roll.
Oh, I'm missing from the closed captions.
Oop.
The Crow Dog, thank you for letting us know.
Thank you, Crow Dog!
I got a 19.
Okay, with a 19, I would say that you can definitely... You hear something musical. you hear what sounds like a song, but the song itself is lilting and breaking in a way that is not musical. And as your ear picks up, as you're just, like, kind of trying to zone out while smoking your pipe, you recognize the sound of someone crying. And thankfully it's not coming from the spooky ass woods. It's not coming from a direction where your party, where, like, you can't see. It is coming from the direction of the house.
It's a coyote. That's super cool. It's standing up on its hind leg. Oh no.
Jackalware. Thankfully it is coming from the direction of your party, although again, it is the sound of there is sorrow here. And when you look, you see atop of at the end of the road is Lowry. Brilliant golden hair being illuminated by the moonlight. And Lowry, would you have, like, an arm, like, over your eyes, or would you just be, like, staring up, like, having them free fall?
No, she is just, like, full on flat back. She's just having a dramatic moment. Full on flat back against the
slant
roof.
Of the roof.
Yeah.
And Vice, you hear that sorrowful song, this folksy song, coming from your friend who has starfished upon the roof. And I would feel as though the moonlight as well is kind of catching what look like little silver streams that seem to be coming from her eyes.
Oh, fuck me, I guess.
Inside the house, Clout, you're getting ready for bed. How quickly does Clout fall asleep?
That's a good question. Depends on the night. He has been drinking, and when he exited the conversation, it was angrily. I can't imagine that he probably grabbed, like, an extra bottle of alcohol, a nightcap. And so he, like, probably paced the room drinking for a bit and then finally fell into bed.
Okay, and Clout, as you are... Make a Constitution save.
Alright. Let's see how that went. 12.
A 12? Okay, with a 12, yeah, you pass out before you even start hearing any of Lowry's song. Pam, you're up. You're working on stuff.
Pamferdam will probably be up till, like, 4 a.m. or whatever time is in this universe.
Yeah.
Working on things. I probably was having a conversation with Clapperclaw about them just growing and being stronger until they went to sleep so that I could better measure their body for my projects.
Yeah, and Clapperclaw, like, will let you, like, take as many measurements as you need. They're really excited about the projects that you have in store for them. The one thing that they ask is that you just keep their wonderful shiny head, because they love this.
Yes, it's very important, and we're gonna make sure that it rattles just enough so that people know that there's a big old dangerous presence coming. Look out here, you're coming.
Yay! As much as one can tuck a construct into bed to get a good night's sleep, because they're a growing boy, you continue working on your projects. Make a perception check for me. I believe Pam has the highest perception out of the group.
Pamferdam rolled a 19.
Okay, yeah, with a 19, Pam, you are in the process of working on this project, and that is when you also hear the sound of... And it's, like, right above you. Like, through the roof, you can hear what sounds like a song, but this song is getting, like, intermittently broken with what sounds like the kind of, like... The not stifled breathing, but sort of like the hiccuped breathing of somebody who might be having tears. This is definitely something that you would have... Something similar you would have heard during the Moholrandi Revolution. I would feel. It's like people trying to keep it together through song, but having difficulty.
Yeah, Pamferdam pictures sitting outside of many different rooms in various orphanages around the country after learning a little childhood lullaby from Childhood Lullaby around the area and getting kids to go to sleep, waiting outside of their doors until they were done crying. Pamferdam themselves only being a child, but having to rapidly grow up. Can Pamferdam recognize who is crying?
I would say with a 19, you definitely... Well, you know it's not the boys. You know it's not Sue. Process of elimination, you'd think it's Lowry.
Okay. Trying to think of my material. I don't need my crossbow anymore, I think. Pamferdam is going to take time off of their current project to quickly pull out their tools and pry apart the wood from their crossbow. They take a moment and start with the wood knife carving some grooves into it, and then taking some of the strange fleshy material left behind from their bird construction previously, and kind of just sets it in the wood. And
Ooh, do I even have spell slots left to do this? Golly.
not yet, but I will take care of that in the morning. But I will set that aside. It looks something akin to a fungal terrarium starting point. You know, there's just a bunch of now rotten grooves in it for things to rest, and the wood is now like absorbing moisture so it can get soaked up. It's the best Pamferdam can think of doing right now.
All right. And then Vice, you wanted to go and inspect your crying friend.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you have seen Lowry at the top of this building.
Could I acrobatics my way up there?
Roll an acrobatics check.
18.
Yeah. I mean, you can either, like, Assassin's Creed style, like, hit pop, pop, pop on, like, the side of the building all the way up, or you could go into your room, open up the window, and then pop up.
He sees, like, a signpost close to the roof, climbs up, pulls out his whip chain, whips it around the signpost, and yanks himself up in a motion.
Okay. Yeah, and when you arrive at the top of the roof, Lowry is just lying there, just looking up at the night sky. And Lowry, you hear several of your friends say various versions of, "Oh, it's him."
Oh, it's who? Who's there? What? Sunrise, shut up!
He's not looking directly at Lowry, but he's scratching the back of his head.
What do you want?
Sorry if I was an asshat. I apologize.
Are you just apologizing for tonight or all the other times too?
Yes. May I sit down?
Fine.
He'll sit not too far away from her, but not too close. There is a respectable 5-foot gap between them.
6 feet, got a social distance.
6 feet. Vice lets his leggies like dangle off the side of the roof. He has his palms like face down so that he can maintain some form of balance. And I have a very bad habit of lying when I feel at my most vulnerable.
Oh.
What I said downstairs was true. We've all been through some shit, as it were. My apologies. Some of it's a bit more fucked up. I would like for everyone here to trust me, to be somewhat in an amicable mood. It's just been a while since I've had people.
Well, do you... There's a big long sniffle and just like the sound of her just like wiping her nose across her arm.
There's a handkerchief that is produced from a sleeve, and it's just like not looking at her, hands it over.
But it was too late.
Big old nose blow. Big old dramatic. Don't know how so much snot comes out of such a tiny little button nose.
As someone with a tiny button nose, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Well, do you want to have people? Because let me tell you, in my experience, people they just let you down, and then you're on your own again. And sometimes it's just better to go about helping people on your own, and then you help them, and then you leave, and then it's much, much more simpler than that. It's not easy to travel with a group.
It's not. But it's nice, because then those people in your group can help you when you're down. Help you with your problems.
Not if they're a bunch of jerks.
Some jerks have well-meaning intentions. They just don't know how to express it.
Sunrise, I am not asking that. Shut up.
What?
Nothing. There's a very strange smile on Lowry's face. Well, apology accepted, I guess. This time, be nicer to Clout.
That one I can't promise you.
I could shove you off this roof.
You could. You have to explain why that murder happened. I have a very soft spot on my head.
Well, now I know exactly where to drop you. And honestly, it wouldn't be that hard to explain. There's a bunch of weird shit here.
When I was younger, I used to live with it was just myself, my sister, and my mother. Mother passed away. I couldn't take care of my sister, so I ditched her at an orphanage and found my way to a circus. From there, they sort of adopted me like one of their own. Some things happened, and I had to leave. And then it was me for a very long time. And I met up with my crew. fell in love. Got backstabbed. Made a ton of money. Invested said money in a adults entertainment industry. Lost said adults entertainment industry to a tabaxi. I still need to find out where they are. Spent the next 7 years trying to find my sister. Found out she was tangled up in some war. And I went after her.
Did you find her?
In the end, yes. But it did little good. Lost her again. But she was safe. I think she's happy. Probably gallivanting off in the sky somewhere.
Do you think people who do bad things can be good and help others?
Posed that same question to comrade a long time ago. Gideon, his name was. You could be bad and want to help people. Just because you're a bad guy doesn't make you a bad guy. It's more of a self-interest thing, but I guess that aspect of wanting to help people doesn't really make you too bad. Might be a means to an end sort of thing. Yeah, some despots who figure the only way to help their people is to rule it with an iron fist.
I don't think that's too great. I've seen what that can do, and never ends well.
No, it doesn't. Listen, if I ever speak out of line again, like tonight, feel free to clock me.
Can I ask Clout to do it?
No, he hits far too hard.
Can I shape into an animal first?
That's animal abuse.
No, it's not. It's still me.
Oh, you hit me? Yeah, sure, fine, that's fine. I thought you meant the other way around.
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I just don't hit very hard. Unless I'm a horse or a badger or something.
You gonna spend much more time up here?
No. Maybe.
He stands. He takes off his coat and just drops it in Lowry's lap.
Why
should
keep
probably
giving me your
find-
coat?
I have a soft spot about feeling cold.
Please, I haven't felt cold in years.
Must be nice.
I think it comes with the territory of almost dying. She'll stand up and just brush herself off. Another drink? I'll
I
have
could do
tea.
I can do with some tea.
Do you want herbal berry? She'll go through like a long laundry list of teas.
Did you make some of those up?
Did you just hear Clout?
Where is he?
It wasn't Cloud, it was Scott Pilgrim.
I know. It is the Scott Pilgrim meme of the tea closet.
Oh yeah. uh, I'll have whatever you're having.
Fine.
Sleepy time, Jasmine.
Sleepy time jasmine. What kind of tea is that?
It's jasmine, but no caffeine in it, so it helps put you to sleep.
Okay, I'll figure it out. Last one to the kitchen is the rotten egg. And she will shift into a spider again with her wild shape and go back down the side of the building.
And Lowry, as you are in spider form going back down the side of the building, you hear Sunrise say, "I like this little liar."
If a spider can roll all of its eyes.
Yeah.
And it's actually Wolf who says this time. In more of like a sing-song voice. "It's happening again."
What does a spider show annoyance?
Rubbing his little...
Wiggle furiously.
Annoyance and spider. Insert here. Yeah, once she's inside, she'll wild shape and hop on down to the kitchen.
Okay.
Who said I wasn't rotten egg? Vice jumps down.
Okay. Sounds good. So, then Vice, you and Lowry are going to be having tea downstairs. Pam, you can hear what sounds like someone falling off the roof in Vice. Other than that, then you start hearing conversation down in the main room, and it sounds like the crying has stopped, which is a plus. Yeah. Is there anything else that y'all want to get into tonight?
That could be another night.
Not too many shenanigans in one night.
Not when
Clout,
have
do
a
you want to hear my
balloon to
tragic
fly.
backstory?
Zonk.
Oh, bless him. Doodles a dick on his face and walks away.
Please let that be canon.
I can roll a sleight of hand.
Yeah, stealth or sleight of hand.
Oh, it's stealth definitely then. 18 and 8, 24.
He already went to bed mad at you. I don't know what you're doing.
My best.
Whisper, as you're like, you get like the balls and like half the shaft, and then Whisper like pops up and like the ink goes for a little wide. Just glowing, looking at you.
Wait, hold on. He begins to doodle Whisper on the other cheek.
Whisper finds this acceptable.
It's fine, it'll wash off.
As much as a will-o-wisp can glare, but also like it's one of those like, I just can't stay mad at him. Like you drew Whisper. Whisper likes being drawn. A little vain sprite.
Don't worry, in the morning when he washes his face, he'll think his mascara's running.
And then Vice, you make your way back down to Lowry. So, come morning, Clout, you wake up and Whisper, basically floats up to you and just says, "I couldn't stop him."
That's fine, Whisper. He rolls over. Wait, stop him from what?
And Whisper goes over to an armoire that has like a mirror built into it. And he just says, "I'm sorry. I look really good, though."
Did he draw Whisper or write Whisper?
He doodled Whisper.
Oh, that's adorable. I think Clout's gonna look in the mirror.
There is just like what looks like 3/4 of a dick drawn, and then it was an offshoot, and then like what looks just like a ball.
Yeah. I think Clout like stares for a second, and then sighs. All right, I'll kill him. And he just walks out the door and goes to wash his face.
Okay. Yeah, by morning, Lowry, your mushroom hat has completely regrown. No longer looking damaged like it had been eaten. Pam, man, you stayed up all night working on this project. You got those adorable sleepy bags under your eyes, but ooh-wee.
Only Pamferdam didn't always look like that. They'd
There's
seem
a
pretty
reason.
tired.
Yeah. But yeah, Pamferdam, when you wake up, Clapperclaw is very excited about what you've put together.
Alright, Clapper, remember, I'm gonna call you down the stairs, so we'll make like a cool entrance. Just get your pants ready, and I'll let them know that we got something cool to show them.
Yeah!
I'll grab the crossbow log and head down to the main area.
Okay. Vice, you and Lowry are able to be down in the main room, no problem.
They're probably having a very lively and friendly chat, contrary to probably what previous mornings were.
Yeah, Pam, they seem like they are in much better moods and also spirits with each other.
And so, my friend Kronk decided it would be best to fold their legs over their body, and he calls it toothpasting them.
Toothpasting.
Yeah, like when you get to the bottom end of a tub of toothpaste, you roll it up and the insides come out.
You know, all those tubs of toothpaste we got.
But
Just
how do you
laying
fold-
around.
But how do you fold the jar of toothpaste in half without breaking it?
I don't know, he finds a way though, it's fantastic.
Is there an open chair at this table?
Yeah.
Okay, Pamferdam will slide up.
Morning.
Put
Pam?
the log on the table, kind of put it towards Lowry.
I made food for your mushrooms.
Made this for me?
Yeah, it looks like your mushrooms healed pretty well overnight. I didn't know whether or not that was going to happen, so I decided to make some food real quick in case you needed it.
Pam, this is the nicest gift anyone's ever given me. And there is just a big old hug that just comes over you.
Oh,
You're
Oh,
not.
thank
Your arms
you.
aren't moving. Thank you, 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 thank you.
you're welcome.
She's
Where's
gonna
Cloud
instantly
at?
druid craft a few mushrooms onto it.
Yeah, and honestly, it seems like, as happens in the Feywild, when good things are happening and people are in high emotion, often plants will grow. Lowry, when you do this druid craft and you attempt to make these mushrooms grow, they grow stronger and faster than otherwise they would have normally been able to.
Well, you're really good at that.
I mean, I don't know how I made them that pretty, but I'm very glad that I did. Oh, to answer your question, we haven't seen Cloud yet.
And I feel like that is when, at the top of the stairs, there is just the silhouette of a tiefling.
You know, a shadow falls over the stairs, like a few, like plants that are like growing and thriving suddenly stop and begin to wither.
Lowry picks up the log, turns around. Cloud, look what I made! Oh, why does it suddenly not look so good?
He just sort of like scratches the back of his head. He has washed and used the last of his foundation, covering up the remaining stains from getting graffitied last night. And I'll just walk down the stairs. Like, very clearly, like, the face of a guy who's, like, got a hangover.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm alright. Got a little too in my cups last night.
Oh. Do you have anything against eating meat?
Not usually.
Okay, good. I have something on the stove for you. Be right back.
Just make sure I didn't talk first.
Lowry will leave and come back a few minutes later with a greasy slab of toasted bread. On top of that, there is a patty of meat with some lettuce, tomato, and a fried egg on top, and another slice of toasted bread on top of that.
I think he takes it and, like, absentmindedly takes a bite out of it and, like, starts to say something else, and then he goes, oh, hold on a sec.
And the egg has, like, the gooey bits that are now just, like, coming down the inside of the burger bite.
He's like,
Oh, if you cut it in half first, the yolk is still soft, so
it's
it'll.
already, like, half gone.
Okay.
The one thing I miss about my plane is avocados.
He finishes his sandwich, and he's like, oh yeah, that reminds me. And he's just gonna knock Vice's chair out from under him.
Vice, make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
These two.
19?
Give Lowry a conniption.
A 19?
Yeah.
Vice, you were sitting with, like, your feet planted on the ground, a little bit of, like, a wider stance. You knew something like this was going to happen.
Do you know the exercise, the electric chair?
Where you, like, pretend to be sitting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's
on the ball of your
exactly...
feet.
Yeah, that's exactly what, that was exactly where I was going with that. It's like, Clout, you kick the chair out, and Vice just, like, stays where he is. Like, it just looks like now he's sitting on nothing.
He does, like, a double take, and then he just sort of, like, nods, like, respectfully. He's like, alright.
It's a new bit y'all planned.
Wow, that takes a lot of core strength.
I used to work at a circus. Sometimes I had to do acrobatics.
Sometimes?
A lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a rain check on that payback then.
Finger
Yeah,
guns
for
and a
what?
wink.
Oh.
Don't worry.
Before we got started in our day, we left the tavern. Me and Clapperclaw were working on something last night. We wanted to show y'all.
Is it a new drawing?
Well, it started off as a drawing. I mean, like, I made schematics, but then it kind of became like physical manifestation. Anyway, well, as we stand, we're not going to be in this tavern much longer, and Clapperclaw wants to continue hanging out with us, but I don't think that their current deer head and the scarecrow body is super durable. And so if they're going to be hanging out with us for a long period of time, I wanted to make sure to make some improvements. So, meet the Clapper Child 2.0.
When you say...
Clapper, that's you. Go,
You
Clapper.
guys hear a door just... like, open and then... At the top of the stairs, what do they see?
So, drawing inspiration from other protective parents that Pamferdam has seen in the Feywild, you see a mixture of the leather material used for both bird and bag of holding, and wood and metals all stretched and wrapped around to make it look like they are in a tree suit, like a tree costume, modeled after the tree that may have made someone dead recently. They got like little like armored claws for grabby hands, and like they're sitting comfortably in like a little harness in the middle, and there's like brambles operating as a seatbelt essentially, and Clapperclaw can come in kind of operating the thing as my little steel defender.
It's again just like this stag skeleton head with antlers just massive
Antlers
upon.
for branches now.
Does it look like the power loader from Aliens?
The hands do.
Get away from you, you feminine dog, you.
Um, it's like a tree mixed with a front loader.
Clout's just like staring in like abject horror and like admiration, I suppose. And he's going to like slowly sit down in Vice's chair.
Clapperclaw, you look amazing.
Pamferdam, where did you get the materials for this?
Oh, well, there were a couple. There was the boat that we used during the revolution, and I think that the frogs weren't really going to be concerned with missing one of them, so that's where the wood material came from. The metal I got from my crossbow last night, and I had some nails left over, and then all those leather fleshy bits that came from the bird that I made that one time. But I don't really need it anymore now that I can make a big old tree robot.
I can claw! I can fight! As Clapperclaw like starts like operating it, and then like they get like a couple steps down, and just oh no! And like you realize that you hadn't really like taught him how to walk
We haven't finished the
downstairs.
tutorial.
And there's just like this like machine on its back at the bottom of the stairs. And Sue comes out just like, what was that? Oh my god!
Clapperclaw got improved?
You put all of this
Clapperbot
together in one night?
2.0!
You pulled this all together in one night?
Yeah, I stayed out for a bit longer than initially planned. But yeah, you give me just enough time, and I can pretty much make anything in like a 6 to 8 hour span.
Oh,
Pam-
here, drink this. Lowry's gonna put a very strong cup of tea in front of you.
Pam, I cannot understate this. Hands or no, you are the most talented engineer I have ever met.
Aw, thanks.
Have
Yeah,
you met
it's-
many engineers?
I've probably met a few. More than I know, probably.
Yeah, I think I'm still pretty alright at making things. I like I picture it in my head, you know, like I picture something like a simple cradle for a kid, and then it comes out like a Viking longship, or I think of something like a teddy bear, and I make kind of a real one. So there's like an
think the
intent to
longship would-
intent to action kind of communication error.
I think a long ship would be pretty cool.
It will be if it didn't sail away.
I mean, arguably, from a certain perspective, those things are more impressive. But I understand. We'll get those hands back.
So when do we plan on leaving? Is there anything that we needed to do here in the... Oh, Lowry, do you need to do something with your feet?
With my feet.
All the feets. I thought they were yours now.
Oh, no,
Oh.
that's once I have a hut. They don't come with me right now.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, I should go get the book though, right? We should take the book with us. We should at least read the book before we go.
I forgot about
Yeah,
the
I
feet.
think we should make sure that we have all of our belongings with us.
How could you
wh-
forget about the feet?
You know, they're always there, but
Uh-huh.
I thought they were pretty memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I drank a lot last night.
Finish
We
the
are-
rest of your food.
We are going to have a very long flight time, so maybe some light reading would be appreciated.
Okay, I'm gonna go get it. Lowry will go down to the basement to the door and ask the house. Hi, we're getting ready to leave for a little bit. I will be back, or I mean, I may find a hut that I put the mushroom in that you gave me, but I need the book back that I gave for safety. Please.
When you say that, you just hear a as the door opens and you see the hallway. It's shorter now with another door.
Thank you so much. Oh, and this is for you. And she'll slide in another another it's basically a hangover sandwich burger with a fried egg on top in there. I don't know if you eat anything, but if you do.
You see,
That's quick.
like, the chandelier in this room flickers and a shadow is cast over where the food is. And then when the chandelier, like, rights itself and the shadow disappears, the food is gone.
Oh. If you like it, blink twice for yes, and if you don't like it, just blink the light once.
There is no further flickering. But
Okay.
you see on a pedestal, written very plainly, Bavlorna's Book of Bad Blood. Or I believe it is the Big Book of Bad Blood.
Just gonna go take the book and the now empty plate. Head back upstairs.
And
I got
the
the
door shuts behind you, and then shuts behind you again. Your hands were full.
I got the book. Also, I think the feet might like the same food that I made for Clout this morning. Not sure. But anyways,
So the feet need to eat.
Yeah, didn't know feet could eat.
I mean, I think the feet were technically full ones, so I think that they still can eat, not necessarily that they have to eat. It's a weird magic thing. Sometimes it gets all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. But thunk. We have this down.
Nice. We can learn all about the tea while we fly.
All right. I guess Scabatha, quote unquote, Granny Nightshade, is going to be the next hag that we deal with. So
She's the worst!
yeah, she
That's
made
right,
you,
they
didn't
are.
she, Clapperclaw?
Mm-hmm.
So, are we still wanting to sow seeds of discord amongst these hags?
I mean,
I
that
don't
was
think
the
I don't think the plan changed in the last 8 hours.
absolutely.
What if we didn't give this book back and we just casually left it and were unfortunately unable to retrieve it from the person who then had it, and I just really want to leave it amongst her stuff and just tell her sister that the other sister has it.
I mean, more fuel for the fire. I'm down for it.
And
Yeah.
just, while we're at it, just conveniently leave it open to a page that happens to mention said,
Oh, what a strange happenstance that could be.
All right. Well, that gets Blightclaw and Scabatha going at each other. But how do we rope Moongrave into this?
Well, we try to frame the painting robbing on Moongrave.
yes.
All right.
You will
So
also remember that in the Book of Bad Blood, when you had read it previously, there was a long scathing review of Scabatha, but for Endolin, there was a simple one sentence. She looks tired.
Maybe we should leave it with Moongrave, with Endolin.
so leave the book with Moongrave.
Find something. I mean, I think moving the painting and giving that to Blightclaw will be enough to get those two against each other. But if Moongrave, I mean, have you ever had someone tell you that you look tired?
Frequently.
Just like not just because you actually are tired though, but just like, on the days where you don't feel like showing up 100%, and so maybe you just skip makeup that day, like, and someone's just like, wow, you just look, are you okay? And you're just like,
Is this
I
one of
look
those
normal.
comments where, like, someone says you can wear just about anything, but they mean it in the very, like, negative connotation, meaning your outfit is ratty?
Oh no, they usually say, "I love how you just wear everything,
Anything.
anything."
I'm
That-
confused. Those all kind of sounded like compliments to me. I guess I'm missing some kind
Yeah.
of. something.
Whisper also nods and like, yeah, those are compliments.
You didn't grow up with a sister, did you?
they are absolutely not compliments.
By the by, things we need to remember. Side objectives. Scabatha does have the Alicorn horn. And remember, the first creature that she sees, she has no memory of after she wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the sneakiest?
Points at Vice.
So you should
Whisper
probably be the
looks
first.
dejectedly.
You are very good at sneaking, Whisper.
I can't turn invincible, but you can. That is a skill that's very important, Whisper.
Oh, and Speaking of, if at any point we did need to try that vice,
Pamferdam opens up their backpack and pulls out a fucking
Awesome looking cupcake.
6-day-old cupcake. Very well decorated, like hard when they tap it on the table though.
I'm not entirely sure how you'd be able to ingest it at this point, but I did get this as the prize, and that's one dose of invisibility from the Fae that we can use.
I mean, I could just knock her over the head with it and I'd be invisible.
This is also true, but if we needed to turn you into a magical invisible, there we go.
But if you're the one she sees, that means we have 24 hours where she can't see you, so... Or more, depending on how often she sleeps. Or less, depending on how often she sleeps. That could really backfire.
Yeah, the land of Thither is apparently under perpetual twilight. So, a stakeout might be warranted. We'll use one of our days for that.
All right.
Yeah, they gave us, what, 8 days?
8 days. Now 7, I
Okay.
guess.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
counts
I guess
as-
we should have gotten clarified whether or not today was the start of day one, or yesterday, that when we made the deal, it was day one.
I feel like we should innately know, right? Since we're, like, bound to this.
I don't
Can
know.
I-
So
can
far,
I
there's been a
roll
lot
for
of trickery
hag?
in this place.
You can roll an Arcana check.
I check my internal clock.
Oh, you had that feat.
Never mind, I rolled a 7.
7. Lowry, regardless of if it's from the day, like from the moment you guys said it, or like the next day, getting this job done sooner rather than later will behoove you.
We should probably just err on the side of caution and assume that, maybe yesterday was the first day, but even if it wasn't, since we don't have it in writing, maybe shoot for like 5 days from today, and then we have a maybe 24-hour buffer. Maybe.
Hopefully.
All right. I've been thinking about the way that we're gonna turn all the hags against each other. So we're gonna steal the painting and give it to Blightclaw. We're gonna leave the book at Moongrave's place. This just sounds like a great way to get both the hags going against Blightclaw, who so far has been the most amenable to us. Maybe we should wait and see if we can steal anything from Scabatha's place to put at Moongrave's. So that, I don't know, we have a little bit more of the aggression spread out amongst them rather than both directed at Blightclaw. Because if that happens, then, I don't know, 2 of them team up on one, and it's the only one that's been sort of nice to us.
That is something to ponder on. Should we probably get in the balloon first and get started on
Yeah.
the travel, since it'll take us a few hours?
That's
That'll give
probably
us
a good
plenty
point.
of time to strategize on the way.
That's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Pamferdam
Same idea.
walk over and start picking up, helping stand Clapper back up.
Yeah, you can tell that, like, have you seen A Christmas Story? Like, when, Randy, the youngest kid wearing all the shit, like, when he falls over, he just stops moving and plays dead after a while. Like, that was Clapperclaw. Like, he tried, and then he realized he couldn't, and so he just, like,
Aw.
laid there.
Sweet baby.
Alright, power up. We're getting ready to go. Stand you back up.
Lowry will cobble together a new outfit between what Sue has and what she has in her traveling bag. But it looks oddly similar to what she's wearing. It's amazing how
It's-
continuity happens.
Well,
Yeah.
good thing you brought spares.
Yeah. So yeah, Sue is, she'll also set you out, with a couple days rations. She'll extra food, extra drink, that kind of thing. And then as you are all getting into the balloon, she tells you not to be a stranger. And also, if you do decide to take her feet, please give her a heads up so that way she can at least have the inn be somewhere people might go to. before it's locked in where it is.
Yeah, it'd probably be smart to make sure you parked at the end of the road, not in the middle of the woods.
I will figure out a way to send a message to you at least a week in advance so you can get to wherever you want to go.
She likes this idea.
Okay.
All right, so into the gaseous balloon. And there is room enough for you all. It's a little bit of a tight fit. There's not a whole lot of, like, extra wiggle room, or, like, you can't, like, set up a desk kind of thing, but it is a hot air balloon. And figuring out how it works, it looks like there are... It's like containers of swamp gas that have been made that you can then release into the balloon with a little bit of fire as an assistant, to then cause the balloon to rise. And after a little bit, we'll say that most of the planning of what to do with the hags has been happening with this balloon, so that way you guys haven't been like, let's do all of this! Okay, into the balloon, and then just... Alright.
Sunny threes?
Yeah, so thankfully, you are able to get this balloon up and running, and Clapperclaw is just, oh yay! Yeah, you've never been this high up before!
They're like fastened to the side like a cargo container.
As
They-
we're boarding,
They just ask that you keep their head as carry-on. You can separate the head from the body, but, like, they just don't want their head to go missing again.
baby.
When the head is
as-
removed from the body, is it the body that's talking or the head?
The voice is coming from the body. The head is literally just there because Clapperclaw likes it.
Gotcha.
We have adopted the weirdest child. I love them. As we're boarding, Lowry is just, no, Tur, I don't know how it works. It's fine. It's totally safe. We're just gonna go, and it's gonna be okay.
Hopefully there's no turbulence up there.
What are you talking to?
Tur is, they're afraid of heights.
Who's, is that one of our nicknames? Who's Tur? Is that?
No, it's a friend. It's fine. They'll be fine. They'll be quiet eventually.
Right, look. Is it like a real friend, or is it like one of your hat? Is it your hat? Who's
Mushrooms are
talking?
my real friends.
Well, I mean, like, are they tangible? Is this a spirit that's with you? Is this a form of trauma? Are they in your pocket? I'm just confused who you're talking to, really.
My mushrooms are right here.
Right? Like, they who you're talking
She's
to?
just gonna find her spot, and she is going to cross arms and just look out over the side of the balloon.
Bags grow.
Poor Pamferdam.
Yeah, Clout and Vice just like, oh boy. Oh.
Note to self: don't talk about the mushrooms.
You know, these are the kinds of things that you want to address before a very close quarters, multi-hour long air balloon ride through fog to get to a separate part of a demiplane. Just like little things you want to bring up. Anybody
little
peanut
things.
allergies? Peanut allergies? In-flight snacks, how y'all feeling? So, balloon lifts up. It's honestly not too difficult to operate, just like pull a string, extra flame, and at this point, it seems relatively easy to kind of figure out a way through the use of, like, you're basically like putting Clapperclaw in a direction causes the balloon to tilt a specific way and then causes it to drag in the direction that you need going. And Clapperclaw is very, he's very happy about the fact that he's so high up, and keeps talking about how wonderful it is to fly through the air like a bird. This is something that he's wanted to do for a long while, and he also appreciates the fact that you guys are traveling this way and not on foot, because, man, what a living. Is there any conversation that would like to be had over the next couple hours?
So earlier, Clout, you were talking about trying to figure out who we set up against who.
Yeah, I was thinking when we do break into Scabatha's place, if we're gonna steal her painting, we might as well see if there's anything else of worth to grab.
Well, for sure. I mean, if we're already going to be robbing someone, we might as well try and profit.
Well, I mean, specifically so that we could put it in Moongrave's place.
I mean,
Yep.
you might not necessarily need to plant something from there to Moongrave's place. You could just, commit a little vandalism,
Right, Moongrave was here.
something like that. Yeah.
Do we have anything like of their handwriting, or do you think someone's really good at winging that? Do you think they'll notice? I don't.
I mean,
Double-check.
if we do it in something that looks vaguely magical, it might not need to be their handwriting at all.
What was Moongrave's assistant?
Guess we don't know yet.
Because we know what Pigmask does, correct?
Pig Mask was Blightclaw, I think.
No.
Is that the one
What?
that we're going to, Pig Mask?
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Pigmast must be Granny Nightshade then. Frog Kid was Blightclaw. That leaves Moon Ghost to Moongrave, I guess.
I could describe what the pig mask looked like when I saw it, and then, maybe that's just what gets etched into something with a dagger, or
All right.
Vice
Or with
looks
some paint.
over to Lowry.
what? Oh, or if we get enough explosives, we could do it on our front lawn, and we could just burn it into the front lawn.
Or we can dress you up as Moongrave's assistant and have you be seen leaving the premises.
I suppose both
fun.
of these things have valid points.
All right. But if Moongrave's assistant was the first person she saw that day, she wouldn't remember them.
So have it
So
be
if
the
she
second.
sees them leaving, then I guess the only choice is that either it was somebody else who did it, or there was an accomplice.
Oh, you're saying Charm is this person we're talking about? Charm is Pig Mask?
No.
No.
Okay, when did we see Pig Mask?
Oh, I saw
Carnival.
pig mask.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't remember this at all. Okay, I'm
Back
glad.
at the Witchlight Carnival, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took the gentleman and
The
their
mirror
partner.
couple.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I believe they took the partner as well, but I saw them take the gentleman through the mirror and turn them into a child.
I know them too. For the past 8 years or so, when I was working at the Witchlight Carnival, all 3 of them have been doing that. It's part of the reason why I'm traveling with you guys.
And you just let that slide for a couple of years?
Oh,
No, I've been trying to figure it out.
I think you did the right move, quitting with your boss. I don't think that they practice good employee behavior.
Well, they evidently literally cannot talk about it. Because they've got to deal with a hag. Which we now have. So, I don't really know how much I can blame them.
I mean, technically, depending on how the deals work, you can blame them a lot for not reading the fine print.
I mean, some people blame people without a good reason. Even you can blame whatever you want.
That too.
Hey, Clapper, is it gonna be warmer or colder? Do you think it's gonna be dry? It's been very muggy here. Tell me about where we're going.
Well, there's lots of trees, so it has a lot of shade to it. It's like, I don't know, you could wear like, my straw didn't get very moldy. And I see people in like short sleeves a lot. So
Yeah, were the trees more like the leaves? Were they more like hands, or were they like pokey needles?
the trees were like little hands.
Okay. So more temperate.
Sometimes they
climate.
had like faces and stuff.
Yeah, that seems to be. There's a face on everything here. Honestly, it looks like.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Oh,
Well,
were there
starts
dryads?
having war flashbacks.
Oh, what's a dryad?
Oh,
Sure.
well, they're technically like they live in trees, and they also can be trees. They're really really cool.
Oh,
Are
was
they,
the thing that killed Clout that one time a dryad?
No, I don't think so.
Hey, Clapperclaw,
Yeah?
these nice trees or mean trees?
Some. Most of them are nice, others are sad.
I believe that's what you call weeping willows.
No.
The good news, though, is that if there are trees, you're not alone.
That's not necessarily true, but I see where you're coming from.
I think there's a hell like this.
I mean,
Hell of trees?
depends on your perspective. But
Is that like an industrialist nightmare or something?
I think an industrialist nightmare would be running out of trees because they wouldn't have any more fuel to run the machines.
An industrialist nightmare is the people seizing the means of production.
What's an industrialist?
Bless your heart.
Our sweet, sweet bean.
Besides the mean lady themselves, Clapper, is there anything else we should be worried about? Like any other scary things you saw over there? Or things that
Scary
look like they might be
things?
made of poison?
No, nothing made of poison. There's the spooky. The long spooky, it can disappear.
What's that?
It has a long neck and big jaws and really sharp claws and wings, and while it's like roaming around, sometimes it'll chase you down, and
Can I-
other times it won't.
Can I roll for this?
Is this creature scaly, Clapperclaw?
Uh-huh. It's got big eyes and big teeth.
Vice's eyes just go wide.
I have
Can
like.
Can
I
I
have-
roll nature?
can I roll for this? Wings has like 2 options as to what this could possibly be.
15.
Sounds like some
15?
kind of snake.
Is this?
Vice only has one thing on his mind.
I guess I'll also roll nature. Natural 1 for 3.
Whew, bless.
So some sort of weird kind of alligator.
Yeah. It's like a long alligator. It's really big.
Can you imagine an alligator with a long neck trying to do a death roll? Just
Yes!
lift it up like a rope.
Lowry got a 15.
Yeah.
Lowry got a 15. Lowry
Is it a jabberwock?
kind of sounds like a long alligator with wings. Is that or like maybe like I don't know.
But did this creature breathe any type of magical breath? Fire, ice, acid?
I never saw, always ran away, stayed hidden. That's what Will said.
Could the alligator with wings fly?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
Color was it?
Could it speak?
Green.
Oh,
Green like the trees.
fuck no.
What?
It might be a green dragon.
Ah! And you just hear like rattling sounds.
Calm down, buddy. You're gonna lose your coins.
Thankfully, the coins are in the head, and the head's safely tucked away in the carry-on.
Shake away, buddy. Makes you think it's a dragon, Vice. I'm not against it. I mean, I've only ever seen the one.
I mean, it ticks off all the boxes. If it's some sort of swampy area, actually be more akin to a black dragon, but scales, big long neck, and teeth and wings, that sounds a little bit like a dragon to me.
Oh, sounds like a jabberwock to me.
What's a jabberwock?
Beware, my son, the jabberwock, the jaws that bite.
And claws that catch.
Sounds like a
So-
stretched out gator to me.
I have claws.
Narrowzoid?
Fucking land, and then we see the boss health bar just reads Floridian Gator.
Thing lands. Why can't I bring up my map? Why can't I bring up my map?
Torrent dragon comes rolling up.
Oh, so as you guys are having this conversation, you actually crest through the fog barrier, and before you, you see a sprawling forest. It's almost like you're in the basin of a impossibly large valley. And when I say impossibly large, you're guessing probably like 30 miles, 35 miles, something like that. Like farther than your eyes can start making out. It sort of fades into that bluish, but you can see what looks like a mountainous ridge along the back. And Clapperclaw says, "Well, okay, so we're gonna want to land over there." And you see that he sort of like points, and there is a small clearing in the woods, roughly, I want to say about 2-3 miles from where you actually come out of this fog. And this clearing has a large knoll in it that has an opening into what looks like a small cave.
You said it looked like a place that we could land?
Yes, that is what Clapperclaw is suggesting.
How
Lantern
far
Noir,
away
thank
is
you
the
for the
bad
raid.
person's place from this spot?
Oh! Lantern Noir, thank you so much for the raid. Clapperclaw says, from there, it would be probably about 2 days journey. But the mean lady doesn't like outsiders. And I certainly don't want to go directly to there, even though I am souped up with these awesome claws. Clank,
You
clank,
have
clank,
very
clank.
strong now,
claws.
But we want to make sure you get used to that thing first before you do anything super brave. We don't
Yeah.
need you to be a Danae hero, alright?
Come to think of it, we have a little bit of time. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have a look around and get a bit more information before we go and figure this out.
Yeah, I agree. Be the locals.
Because I get the idea once we pull the trigger on this operation, there's no going back.
Probably not. It's probably going to be a more get out of town as fast as possible.
Alright, so takes 2 days to head towards this place. You can look and see if there's any points of interest along the way and scout them out for a few days until we get there.
Sounds good.
Okay. And as the balloon lands down in this clearing that Clapperclaw had directed you to, you see that some cozy torchlight radiates from a cave in this wooded hillside. 20 feet from the cave is a tree with a weathered sheet of parchment nailed into its trunk. And the sheet of parchment that you see has what looks like a drawing of a younger boy, probably no older than 13, 14, large head of hair, darker skin. And it says, "Wanted!" One singular exclamation mark. Followed by Will of the Feywild, and you're assuming Will is the name of this individual. And beneath it, and this is in Elven. You guys speak Elven? One of you speaks Elven?
I speak Sylvan.
Yeah.
I
speak-
speak Elvish.
I also speak Sylvan.
Okay, so Vice, you're able to read this note, thankfully. Otherwise, it would seem awkward to get halfway through it and then be like, oh, by the way, who can actually read this thing? So, Vice, you are reading in Elven. Wanted, Will of the Feywild. This rapscallion vexes me. Deliver him to me alive and unharmed, and I'll curse one creature whom you name. And as you see this, and Clapperclaw is being reassembled, that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who has decided to stop by and join us so far. We're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. Hello, everybody. We have returned from our break. We have traveled through the skies on a balloon powered by swampy fart gas, and we have arrived in a brand new land, the land of Thither. So, upon arriving in the land of Thither, you have all seen a wanted poster. A wanted poster for an individual named Will of the Feywild that looks something like this.
Look at his fro.
It's a very
Oh, no,
nice
he's
fro.
Cute.
He is cute. He's just a boy. And not only is he just a boy, but this boy also has a special offer, in that the text below Will's picture states, "This rapscallion vexes me. Deliver him to me alive and unharmed, and I'll curse one creature whom you name."
Could we use that offer to curse her?
Doesn't say anything against it.
Yeah, something we're actually gonna keep in mind. Oh, before we get too far away from the balloon, I forgot to get you something, Vice.
Whoa.
Pamferdam will run,
As
hop halfway into the basket and start like reaching for something.
yeah,
There's a small door you can use too.
Pamferdam doesn't think things
Too
through.
excited.
and so that's why I can't drink milk anymore.
I mean, that's very fair. That's actually a very common problem.
Hey, Whisper. Look at. Yeah, you see the face on this here wanted poster?
Whisper nods.
I want you to memorize it and let me know if you see him.
Whisper nods again.
Thank you.
And then asks, "Do you want me to go try and track him down?"
No, just stay close by. You know, like keep like do a what do you call it?
Surveillance?
Yeah, sure.
A perimeter check?
Yeah, do a perimeter check
Reconnaissance?
every once in a while.
Okay. So, you have seen now again that there is also a cave that looks like it has some cozy light coming from it. And Clapperclaw, now put together, says, "Oh, one of the people who helped kind of hide me from the big old scaly thing and the mean lady, well, he's inside this cave, and he said that he would help me if I ever found my way back again. So I figured that we could just park the balloon here, and I could introduce you."
All right.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
I mean, anybody who's nice to Clapperclaw is probably pretty decent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think so. I can't imagine anyone being nice and then being mean afterwards.
Unless it was a trick.
Pamferdam returns
Yeah.
from
Hey,
the,
Pam, what do you got
balloon.
there?
All right. So managed to make this together last night as well. For you, Vice. Here you go.
And they open the cloth up, and there is a set of studded leather armor, and it looks like it is made from like a various assortment of different fleshy material that all stitches together to make a set of sturdy leather. There are some identifiable furs, such as like wolf or deer. Pretty sure that's a tattoo, etc. But the other thing that is happening to this item, because it is magical, is it is constantly, and you can determine the intensity of it, emanating smoke of any color but no odor by the wearer. This is called smoldering studded leather. So
yeah, you can give them a smolder, or if you need a smoke screen or something like that. You know, I don't know how hard you can think about it, but this will make you smoke around a little bit. Or if anything, it makes you look like mysterious. But the big thing is it's magical, so it shouldn't have too much of a durability issue compared to other things.
This is fantastic, Pam. If you'll give me a few minutes, I can swap into these. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. It only takes about 5 minutes with help to swap your armor from, I believe you had leather to studded leather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
oh right, AC up by 1.
Yes! Alrighty.
One looking.
I mean, Lowry will
Clapperclaw
help
is...
you change if you need it. She is obviously not shy.
On Vice's body, you can see there are various purple veins and wound marks all over it. Especially around where his heart is, there's a soft amethyst pulse.
Does that hurt?
Used to. I got used to it.
Is this a thing that's growing onto you, or is it permanently the way it is?
I think it's pretty permanent.
But it's not spreading in any way?
Not to my knowledge, at least.
Hmm.
What would have been the time frame, Indoor, between coming back and heading out here? Like,
I would say you probably had a minimum of 2 years. Enough time to kind of meander around, explore a little bit, kind of dip your toes back into things.
Well, you can tell us about it later. What? Over tea.
that's a conversation that needs much more stronger stuff. Adjusts his jacket.
I can make a very strong tea.
Not what I was talking about.
Have you tried
I
chai
know.
before?
What?
Have you tried chai before? That's pretty spicy stuff. That's
Mhm.
stronger than regular tea.
It is, especially if you make it just right. You froth it. Yeah, but yeah. Mhm. Oh, I should make some later.
Oh yeah. Oh, Clapper, I think I heard you say something about you knowing the person in this cave.
Uh-huh.
You know their name?
Then his name is Nib. He's an old man, but he's very helpful. Here, this way. And Clapperclaw just like rattling in their new suit of armor that you've gifted them.
Well, they might be cursed with the mind of a child for all eternity, but they do seem to have a pretty good gauge on who's good and evil so far.
You see Clapperclaw just go into this cozily lit cave.
If it were for the fact that I gave them reinforced armor, I'd be concerned about the child leading point.
I think they can handle it.
Alright, Pam is going to follow Clapper.
Okay, and following in behind Clapper, inside of the cave, you see a wizened old man wearing a blindfold who sits at a spinning wheel, surrounded by piles of gold. As he spins, he reaches down and grasps handfuls of coins, which transform at his touch into gleaming gold fibers. And there's a pause as you see him just turning these gold coins into a fiber and just... Clapperclaw, is that you? Ah, yeah, Nib. I told you I'd be back, and I brought people to help get rid of the mean lady. I see. I see. Come closer. It seems you've grown. And you see this old human male just sort of like tap at Clapperclaw and just, I don't remember you being so pointy and, well, big. And it sounds as if you have brought some friends. Hello. And as you see this wizened old man who's sort of sitting next to this gold, like, spinning wheel with his thread, the four of you see what look like spirits, humanoid in shape, that seem to be behind him. And you can kind of make out what they look like. There are some of them human, some of them dwarven. There's one like very skinny woman that has an eye patch, another whose arms are crossed, and they are all glaring down at Nib. And the most interesting thing to note about this individual, Clout, when you look at him, it's like his face has been erased and is instead what look like angry scribble marks over where his face should be.
Is this similar to...
Similar to Vice.
Okay. Interesting.
I believe we have not been introduced. My name is Nib. And to who do I owe the pleasure?
You can call me Big Top. I'm Clapperclaw's new friend. These are my associates.
Did you say Big Top or Big Tom?
Big Top.
Big Top.
It's a pleasure to meet you. You can call me Janet.
Janet.
Oh, damn it.
I love you.
It's a big top, Janet.
My name is Vice.
Vice.
Humbug.
And humbug.
Vice snorts.
Gesundheit?
Good to meet you all. I would like to apologize. As you may have noticed, there are, for the other company that's here with us in this room, not Clapperclaw, mind you, but... And they motion with their head back behind them. You
Oh,
know.
good. I'm not the only one seeing ghosts.
Okay, yeah, you are aware of them then. That's a development.
What?
So, Clapperclaw says you might have a way to help us out with a thing we're doing.
Yes, I can. Well, that really depends on, as you said, the thing that you're doing. Would it be too pressing of me to inquire as to what it is this thing is?
Oh, not at all. Can someone broad strokes it?
Well, are your the poor friends back there, are they trustworthy? Are they don't go and talk to anyone else, do they?
And you see Nib's shoulders sort of slouch a little bit. It's just, no. My haunts are specifically for me, I am afraid.
Okay, perfect. Well, we're just, looking into some leadership structural changes, potentially, of the area.
I see.
Just, trying to understand the hierarchy and how it works, and just the best ways to protect and or hinder it.
You sound as though you are being guarded with your words.
I mean, isn't everyone the first time they meet someone?
Usually, yes. But in this place, you do not have to hold back about your opinions or your feelings.
I think discretion is particularly important in this place.
I would like to vibe check.
Yeah, roll a vibe check.
I love Lowry's rolls. That's an 8.
An 8.
On your game.
I don't know. This guy seems a
supposed to be
little
good.
sus!
I'm supposed to be good at insight checks.
This guy seems a little sus, and as he's saying this, Clout, you look up, and, one of the ghastly figures that is behind him, for a brief moment, also has one of the scribble faces.
Huh. Just for a moment, though?
Just for a brief moment.
Oh, that's weird.
And they look...
He's never seen them go away before.
The scribble doesn't go away, but the figure that it belongs to seems to sort of fade into the amalgam of spirits. They aren't it's not like a set 5 that are behind. It seems to be fluctuating.
Oh, like a vague crowd that we can kind of get details from once in a while?
Well, okay, so follow-up question.
Yep.
Nib has a scribble face.
Yes, he does.
Do all of the ghosts have scribble faces?
No.
Just one of them?
Just one of them, for a brief moment.
Sorry.
Yeah, Clout looks past him. Sort of distracted. Go on.
Nibs, was it?
Just Nib. Singular.
For us to truly say what we are doing here, we'd like a little bit of insurance on your end.
I understand.
Oh, I know. What if we made a deal?
Yeah, we're pretty good at those.
Nib's head tilts a little bit. You can make deals with them. They're not like hags or nothing.
Oh, we're kind of closer to contract devils.
Not exactly.
No.
So how about see, I am actually very good at deals and contracts and sort of things. So as long as you sign this document, and she pulls a parchment out of her bag and just unfurls it, promising that you will not say anything about what we are about to tell you in regards to our business here in the territory of the hag that's here again.
Scabatha
The
Nightshade.
territory of Scabatha. This is Sarah not being able to keep
Okay.
these three hags. Lowry knows who she's talking about. Sarah, ADHD brain. While we're in her territory, we will not turn you into a toad that only croaks in limericks.
And all I have to do is not tell Scabatha you've come.
Well, you can't. Not that we've been here or that you talked to us. Is basically you can't talk about anything about this meeting. It's what I'd like to call an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, so that everything that we talk to you about cannot be told to anyone else.
Yeah, we want to make sure you're not just open, you know?
Anyone else or just Scabatha? If I were to speak to Clapperclaw about this.
Oh no, Clapperclaw is with us. Clapperclaw's fine.
If I were to speak to Will of the Wood.
You know Will of the Wood?
He comes by every once in a while.
Huh. Do you
We'll
realize
circle back
there's
around to
a
that.
you realize there's a wanted poster right outside?
Scabatha is not too keen on young William.
I figured. What did he
Or
do?
his getaway gang.
What did they do?
I'm sorry, the
I
what?
I can add in a clause that after meeting Will of the Wood, if we all feel that we can be told about what is discussed here today, that he can be approved. But everyone here has to okay it.
In the words of a very, very prominent pair of bards from where I'm from, nobody speak, nobody get choke.
Oh, you were speaking of Run the Platinum.
Yes, you know them?
When did we
from
start talking about
Waterdeep.
money?
I don't know.
Wait.
I'm very lost in that.
You're from my neck of the woods.
I was from Toru, yes. I lived in the city of Waterdeep for quite some time.
How long ago was this?
Maybe about 20 years or so. Not too long.
So do we have a deal?
And he motions upward with his hand.
Lowry will hand him the parchment, and the terms of the deal just glow across the parchment in a soft green light.
He
Magically writing
will...
themselves.
You see there is a deep inhale, and you see him mouth, "Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Don't turn around." And he lifts his blindfold up, and you can see that he just has the tiredest set of brilliant green eyes as he looks at the contract and signs his name, and the entire time, just don't turn around. Don't turn around.
When he removes his blindfold, do I recognize him?
You do. You haven't seen his face in a long time, not since you were a kid.
Do I remember what we used to call him?
You
Mediaflare.
called him... Most of the time, you called him Nib the Evictor. He was a famous landlord in Waterdeep that would buy very derelict properties and then raise the rent on them. And Nib signs. And then shakily puts his blindfold back down, and then as he does, you see his shoulders relax. And he says, "I've led a cruel and heartless existence. I earned these riches, and he motions, by exploiting my tenants' misery, buying up condemned property and renting it out for exorbitant fee. Granny Nightshade is helping me to make amends. I told her I wanted to put my bad deeds behind me and my ill-gotten gains to good use. She cursed me to dwell forever in this cave, spinning my gold into useful items for anyone who comes this way. And as he says that, you see him grab some gold. It turns into a thread. And in a matter of minutes, you see that thread wrap around and turn roughly into the shape of a bag. And there is a slight flash as you then see what looks like a shoulder bag with a large smiling face upon it. And he sets a bag of holding down in front of himself.
Ah, hell yeah.
Out of curiosity, does this resemble the threads that Vice and Pamferdam had seen, or is this a different type
This
of
is a
magical
different type.
thread?
Entirely different.
So many threads.
The thread that you guys saw
Thread
was
count in this game.
subjective,
Yes.
but this thread we all see gold.
Yes, that is correct. As it is coming directly from gold coins, of which there are many in this cave.
I paid attention to that previous thread because it means something.
Yeah. Lowry's gonna take the contract back and pull another piece of long parchment out of her bag, and it unravels. There's a check mark, and then there's a solid couple minutes of her just rolling it back up.
Old man Nib, how do you find your way out here?
Like I said, I was cursed to be put in this cave. All of the gold that you see around me, it was the money that I took from those that I gave improper homes to. And the longer that he speaks, Clout, you've heard this guy's voice before, but it was a lot more snide. It was younger. And you remember one of the first times that you and your sister got put out onto a street? It was because you couldn't pay. Vice, you remember this man's voice as well. As when you were attempting to be a squatter, when you first came to Waterdeep without too much money in your pocket. Turned out that land, that derelict house, already owned by somebody else. Not
So
somebody
Clout legit remembers this guy.
You remember the voice. You remember the memory associated, but and especially like when Vice says Nib and hearing hearing him named Nib. As he keeps talking, Vice, the scribbles start lessening, almost.
All right. I think that Clout's sitting or standing towards the back of the group. He's got his arms crossed. And he continues staring. And like his fists are clenching, like it's pretty clear that he's starting to seethe.
As he's continuing to talk, Vice has a hand to his hip, and there's a soft purple glow that is forming into something.
Are you trying to be subtle about it, or can we see it?
Well, this guy's
See it.
blind, so...
Well, can Pamferdam and I see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost in a way that Vice isn't conscious that he's doing it.
Lowry is just gonna put a gentle hand on his.
And Nib says, I am haunted by my own words. As long as my ill-gotten gains were put to good use, my bad deeds would remain behind me. And he motions with his hand to the individuals, these ghostly crowd that stare down at him.
Oh, literally.
You are beholding the restless apparitions of those I hurt. They lurk behind my back, tormenting me with pokes at my ribs and whisperings in my ear. I can't bear to look at them in the eye. Not after what I did. And from this ghostly crowd, Clout, you can see again, one of these scribbled individuals. But then you see what looks like a ghostly apparition that looks very similar to you. There's no, like, facial features, but height, horns, all of that. Body build. And you see the scribbled face one, and you, Clout, like, go in and then just start, like, you can see them mouthing directly into his ear. And Vice, you see what look like two tieflings. One shorter, more feminine than the other looking very similar to Vice, going in and just whispering silence into this man's ear, silence that only they can hear.
Do Pam and I see this too?
Yes, you do. And you see Nib just looking like a shell of a man as he just stares 1,000-yard with the blindfold in your direction.
Vice clenches his fist and dissipates what he was bringing in. Well, you can apologize to at least one person who suffered you.
Ooh. If there is one among you with whom I have done wrong, please know that I am a changed man. I am different now than I was then, and I understand I was wrong.
Southern Ward, Shrimp Street, an old derelict house, a young white tiefling boy, curved horns.
And Nib extends his hand up. He extends both his hands up.
Vice puts his good hand there.
And Nib will bring up his blindfold again, and he looks at you, dead in the eye. And
before Nib can say anything, Vice just says, "I forgive you."
And you see Nib's lower lip begin to quiver, and he says,
"But I can never forgive myself, and I am so sorry. To you. For what I did."
And then he looks over, and he sees you, Clout. And Clout, you look down and you see Scribble Face with two hands extended towards you.
He's gonna look him in the eye and then just turn on his heel and leave.
And the hands fall slightly. And there is the head lowering of acceptance, and you see Nib take their blindfold and bring it back over their eyes. And they say,
"I am deserving of this. I know. How can I help now, in this time?"
Pamferdam is going to quickly tug on Vice's elbow and whisper,
You wanna go check on Cloud? I think you and Lowry can handle this.
Yeah.
and Vice, you leave to go speak to Clout. Meanwhile, Nib explains to both you, Lowry, and Pam, and Vice, you can kind of hear this as you leave, that he says,
the ability that was given to me by Scabatha, I am able to craft wondrous things, fantastical things,
of up to an uncommon rarity.
Is there anything of use that you can think of? I am more than happy to provide my assistance.
And as he says this, we can cut over to Clout and Vice to give the two that are inside with this mystical, magical gold spinner some time to kind of like look through some shit real quickly to figure out.
Googling frantically.
Yeah. Meanwhile, outside of the cave, Clout, you have just, like, this scribble-faced individual attempting to speak with you.
Yep. Clout sort of stomps outside, moves quickly, and he's gonna go over to the tree that has the poster on it, and just like to the side of it, like not going for the poster at all, but he's just gonna like, cause like, you know, that kid didn't do anything to him. He's gonna go and punch the tree, just once.
The tree shakes and just and like.
Ah, jeez. Sorry, I didn't realize.
But Clout, where you have punched, you see that the wood upon the bark has like twisted into a knot, almost like when you punch and then your fist turns a little bit, like anime style. Like the wood has twisted to fit where your fist was.
Is every fucking tree alive in this place?
Technically, yes.
Like whirls on him.
Vice.
Like whirls to punch Vice?
No, he just whirls around, glares.
Vice is pulling out a pipe, putting some tobacco in there, lights it. So, you've got history with the old man?
Evidently, so do you.
Must mean we're from the same neck of the woods then. Offers pipe.
He's going to like roughly push it back.
In a place like this, filled with misery, even if you are contemplating your own, don't you think alleviating some would be better than not at all?
I'm trying to figure this out. Nothing makes sense. Why is it that assholes always have fuzzy faces? You knew him too.
He was so dumb. You don't recall where you're from, correct? And every time you see my face, it's a big scribble. There's someone else who is apparently where I'm from, and their face is also a scribble. Don't you think your brain is blocking off something?
No, that happens sometimes. Like face blindness, it's a thing, right?
I'm gonna have to eat my own words here. Your name is Clout Imkin, correct?
How do you know that?
Your sister is Cordial Imkin.
He slugs him.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
You used to live in Waterdeep. He'll spit some blood out.
How do you know me?
Remember that story in the bar about a brother who really wasn't a brother? For a time, the three of us lived together. We were children then. You also worked at... Lord, what did we name the circus?
That's a good question. I don't know if we ever named it.
Jack Hughes' Phantasmagorical Circus. You showed me the ropes.
Hey, Clout.
Yeah?
Make a wisdom save.
Oh, fuck. 16?
16? Okay. You take 6 points of psychic damage.
Alright. I think he just literally clutches his head, and squats down.
There is a burning sensation that you feel right below your right eye.
Oh, fuck.
Vice is tentatively reaching out to Cloud.
Yeah, the moment he makes any contact, he just, like, slaps you away. Just leave me alone.
If that's what you want. If you're interested, you know where to find me.
I have a question.
Sure.
Like, 2 tieflings stood on either side of that guy and whispered at him.
Yes.
One of their faces was scribbly?
Yep.
Was it Cordial's?
It was.
I think Clout's gonna try and remember Cordial's face.
Make a wisdom save.
15?
A 15? You aren't able to remember her face, but you are able to remember her. Specifically, you remember a moment where her back was turned to you, and she was walking away, and she said, "I'll never forgive you."
Alright. He's just gonna sit there. His hands over his head. And try to recover from that shit.
Behind a tree, Vice is like just bent over, holding his nose from where he got slugged. Motherfucker.
That is 5 bludgeoning damage.
I know. I saw your strength score and I was like, oh, god damn it. I should have had Danae roll for that.
Okay. So, Vice, you are fixing your nose. After Clout has punched you rather hard, Clout, you are trying your best to remember the face of your sister and having not a great time of it. Meanwhile, back in the cave, there's a sad old man who's willing to spin you items out of gold. Clapperclaw's just like, ha, yay! And he goes up to Nib and he just says, "I want the staff. Can I have the staff? I can use it now." And Nib just nods, and when he pulls a thread, you see it extend into a long staff.
We are responsible for him. What are you giving him?
Or he says, or he then like puts his hand up and says, "I actually think I might have something that'll help. If there's one thing that I can do now, it's help. And as long as you allow it to be not a staff, but a shield for this boy."
Looks at Pamferdam.
If it's
The two parents are making a decision here.
you're saying you're gonna make a shield for Clapper?
Mm-hmm. No, the staff that sounds like birds. No.
Bird staff, Clapper? You want a bird staff?
I love bird staff. I make a pigeon coo.
Do you know about a bird staff? I'm
I
not
don't-
super skilled in magic.
I don't know magic items. I grow mushrooms.
Alright, can you guarantee, though, this is not a weapon or could harm Clapperclaw in any way?
That is why I instead offer you a shield. A shield cannot injure and is meant for protection.
As long as the kid's not gonna poke his eye out.
The bird, like the bird, there's not actual birds with the staff, is it? Like, they're not gonna, like, peck at them?
It's like a rain stick.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, get the kid a new toy.
And so, from the gold thread, first and foremost, a staff is formed, and it looks like it has birds carved into it with like a gold filigree that's been inlaid into it. And he will give Clapperclaw a staff of bird calls. And then he will grab another handful of gold, and as he twists it and turns it, you see that it turns into what looks like the shape of a kite shield, but sized for the front of Clapperclaw's new, like, steel defender form. And he takes the shield and affixes it to Clapperclaw's chest. And Clapperclaw, from this stag head and robot body, just goes, "Hi, yay, new toys!" And as he says that, you see what looks like the face of a smiling child appear on the shield, as he has been given a shield of expression, I believe it's called.
Nice.
Just
Our
this
sweet
suit
baby
your
boy.
needs.
Nigh untouchable at this point if they're gonna have a shield on their chest.
Right? So fast.
So they're gonna be walking on their own.
I can already do that one!
Oh god, this means Clapper has like the highest AC in the party.
Good. He's a little boy. He's just a birthday boy. He's a little man.
Oh.
Otherwise, I think we came up with an idea of something that we could use if you were to make stuff for us to help us with our somewhat figured out plan.
Of course.
Yes.
What is it that I can assist you with? A nice pair of boots, perhaps. The bag is yours.
Oh, that's fantastic. Maybe, can you make dust of sneezing and choking?
Is that an uncommon magic item?
Yes.
Yes, I believe I can.
And he grabs the handful of gold, and you see that he, like, twists it with his hands and then plops it down. And when it comes up, LB, thank you so much for the raid! You see that there is a small bag that has what looks like a nose on it. Like, it's not like a fleshy nose, but it's still questionable as to why this bag has a nose. And when you look inside, it is a fine golden powder.
Alright, I think that'll be pretty helpful for us.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Well,
And you?
thank you for this assistance. Is there anything you can tell us about the local land or any other civilizations that might be out there?
Well, if you're looking for young William, he lives in Little Oak. Treant that is found roughly about 8 miles from here, towards the north.
He lives in a tree end?
Yes.
Oh.
Treant and young William are friends.
That's actually quite smart of someone to for you.
Then, of course, there is the Wayward Pool. The Wayward Pool used to be home to a set of unicorns, partners with one another, but that is the rumor, anyways. As far as I am aware, there is only one.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
If you were interested, I do have information on Scabatha. as well that might prove useful if you plan on meeting her or speaking with young William.
I think we definitely intend to have dealings with both.
Well, Scabatha, Granny Nightshade, as it were. Ah, scary lady! And you see the child's face, like, turns into, like, a big, like, no! And, like, on the shield of expression. Yes, Clapperclaw, the scary lady. She has what looks to be a key that protrudes from her back that indicates her mood by how fast it turns. When she's happy, the key turns quickly. When she's upset, the key turns slowly. If she loses her temper, the key will stop immediately. Similar to... And he will pull up some coins and create what looks like a small wind-up toy.
What tends to make her happy? Do you know? Does she dislikes long walks on the beach? Trashy romance novels?
She loves trickery. She loves
Trickery?
deals.
Well,
She
yeah.
hates William. And then there is a pause, and he says, many children toil away in her workshop, creating toys. She delivers her scariest and creepiest toys to children in other worlds, to fill their heads with nightmares, one would assume. The hag makes her deliveries on the back of a flying rocking horse.
Does she have a favorite member of her coven?
That I don't know.
You said
When
that
I
she
struck my
has-
deal with her, I did not ask of her sisters.
Well, the key's going to be a very good indicator of her mood. That's for sure.
You said there are kids at Scabatha's place?
Yes. There are those who work in the toy factory, others who work in the candy factory.
Oh, candy?
She loves candy. If you're looking for something that'll turn her key, candy. Something you wish to deliver.
That's good to know.
As far as information I have, that is roughly all that I have available. Other than, of course, these gifts.
I think these gifts will be very helpful.
And if your friends, if they seek something more than my apologies, I will make them things as well. For I believe I have wronged your two companions more than most anyone.
Yeah, you're kind of a parasite on society being a landlord. I don't
I
think physical
understand.
objects really are gonna make Clout happy.
Say Clout.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I meant Vice. I forgot their name.
There is,
haven't
you can
met
see
Clout
when you
yet.
say clout, like there is like this downtrodden crafter of mystical and magical goods is already sad. When you say, oh yeah, you're pretty shitty to clout, like you can tell he just gets like even sadder.
You remember? Well,
I remember all of their names, all of their faces.
Promise?
They haunt me.
As like the crowd is behind him.
So you remember Clout's face, you said.
Yes. I also just saw it again not too long ago.
When?
literally 5 minutes ago when he was in here.
I'm just
'Cause
double
you-
checking because, it at first sounded like you didn't recognize the face at all, and were kind of just flat out lying for a sec.
I remember him with the face of a younger man. A man less troubled.
Probably less burdened by constant demands of rent for a physical object.
Yes, very true.
He'd probably also know the name that Clout used to go by.
Which was?
Humble.
And I feel like Nib will even mention that.
He went by a different name when I knew him.
Right. Well, everybody has lots of names.
I agree, Janet. I agree.
Thank you. I can... Should I go ask if Clout and Vice want anything?
I suppose if they're offering, we can ask. Otherwise, I won't. Don't make any assumptions whether or not Clout's gonna accept anything.
This gold will do nothing but help create gifts for those who stop by. Otherwise, it will sit here in piles and rot with me.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna go find them.
Thanks for all your help, Nib. You've been super great.
You're welcome, Clapperclaw.
Yep. Before I go outside with the rest of them, I do have to ask: could you make the contracts to all the land you own right now using your magic coins? Could you do that?
I could.
That's a good reparation.
I'm
Hand over the
unsure if
contracts to
that.
land to the people.
I'm unsure if that land is even still mine. I've been here for 2 decades now.
I think it's more of a gesture thing, but still.
I will begin my work.
Pamferdam will follow that way outside.
Who do we see first?
Probably Vice, like, correcting his nose. Just...
Oh. Are you... Did you say something mean?
Not inherently mean.
Well, like a therapeutic punch, or you said the wrong thing punch.
Yes, you should
Can
ask Cloud that.
Can I see that?
Leans over.
She's proficient in medicine, but she's gonna just pop it back in place and then healing word you.
Why do I smell
so-
toast?
I don't know, but
And I
take
taste
5 points of
copper.
healing. Which
Oh,
I think is exactly what Cloud did.
Yep.
Yep.
How is he?
Looks over to where Cloud was.
By this point, he would have stood up and just started leaning against the tree. Like, oh, I was definitely sitting here the entire time. I didn't collapse in, like, agony or whatever. He's just got his eyes closed, arms folded, seething.
Well, he's doing his what do you want pose, so I don't know.
Does he have a favorite animal?
Vice tries to recall.
Make a history check?
He had a stuffed owl mirage. No. 14?
14. Clout. Would that be a high enough number to learn what Clout's favorite animal was?
Yeah, sure. Oh shit, now I have to be the one to know that.
Aha!
I am Boo Boo the Fool.
Trap card.
What is Clout's favorite animal?
If it's something small, I have a better chance of making this work. Unless it's a horse, because we already know that Lowry can turn into that.
let's make it easy. Let's say bunny rabbits.
Excellent. I can definitely turn into those.
Yeah, he had a stuffed rabbit once. Claimed it was
Also, I
his
know the
sister's,
rabbit's
but
place.
In any particular color?
white.
Okay. And Lowry takes a deep breath, and then whoop, there is a white rabbit wearing a mushroom hat that hops over to Clout. She is here to be your emotional support pet.
And Clout, you look down and see this rabbit, and you just hear, "Oh, wow!"
Well, I imagine he's got his eyes closed, like playing the memory of Cordial saying that she'd never trust him again, like just over and over in his head.
Not that she wouldn't trust you. She would never forgive you.
That.
There's just a slight tapping on the top of your foot as two little bunny feet land on it.
Opens his eyes and looks down, and there's Lowry. He rolls his eyes, and he'll kneel down and just sort of like put his big meaty tiefling hand on her back. Soft bunny fur.
She's one of the big long-haired bunnies.
Oh. Well, at least you aren't damseling.
Nose wiggles.
Pick her up and walk over to the others. Did we get everything we need?
Caca! Caca! Clapperclaw's just like waving around his staff of bird claws.
Huh.
Yeah, so they kind of tricked out Clapperclaw. So they got Bird's stick and they're a lot more armored up now. And then we managed to figure out a cool idea, which actually got more of a cool idea now that we learned some stuff about Scabatha and Candy.
Go on.
Show what we got, Lowry.
Bunny nose wiggles.
Oh,
Okay, so
It is
it's in their
now up to
pockets or
Pam
their
to fill
fur or
them in.
something right now, but we have some dust of coughing and sneezing. I don't actually know where it goes when they turn into a rabbit. Now that I think about it, like, is it in there? Is it their fur now? Is their fur shoes?
melts
But-
with that person's.
All right, that's something I'll have to think about later. But yeah, so we have essentially a prank magic item, and we learned a few things about Scabatha. One of those things is that she likes candy, and she makes kids make stuff, but I'll get to that in a sec.
When you
but-
say that, Vice bristles.
Wow, that is objectively evil.
Yeah, I figured talk about the things that causes unburning rage or undying rage last, so that we can get the level-headed stuff out of the way. But yeah, we can possibly poison the candy, make it seem like a prank from another one of the hags.
There's an aggravated bunny foot stomp in Clout's arms.
Bunnies
One for yes,
actually
two
do
for
that.
no.
I know they do. Look, I researched the animals that I can turn into. I know how to read. It's method.
And some say Sarah had been a bunny since the entire shoot because she couldn't break character.
Yeah, so other than that, I think burning down everything that Scabatha owns before we leave and freeing the children should definitely be something we consider adding on to the list of things that we do over here.
All right,
We
goals.
could also lead the children over here so each of them could get a magic item.
Yeah, and burn everything Scabatha owns down.
Yeah. Tertiary, got Tri-terry?
Tertiary.
Tertiary, thank you. I know words.
We all do.
I'm trying to not let it take over my mind just yet, but yeah, if there are kids being taken advantage of, I'm gonna say we're gonna have to address that at some point.
Yeah, not gonna lie, this particular hag seems like they've been tailor-made to piss you off.
I wonder if they have an extremely punchable face.
Well, so far everything points to yes. They have slave labor in the form of children, and that's pretty much just an instant death qualifier for me.
I think we could take a hag.
I would like to find out, I guess.
There's a head twitch and an aggravated foot kick.
You wouldn't be able to fight her, she's so scary.
Was 1 yes or 2 no?
Don't know. We never established.
I think we can mark that as a hard maybe until they come back. Clapper,
Yeah?
I understand that scary people are very dangerous.
Uh-huh.
If we do nothing, and I'm not telling you to do anything, but if you do nothing, those children get to continue to suffer. And it doesn't seem like anybody ages here, so they're going to suffer forever.
Oh.
We have an option to try and stop a mean lady. That's something I have to do at least. I'm sick and tired of people taking advantage of orphans.
Yeah!
Lowry's gonna jump out of Clout's arms and go up to Pam. The front feet go up on Pam, and the back foot just stomps on the ground angrily as the nose twitches.
I don't speak, what are we saying? Rabbit. Is this an angry rabbit? Are you angry?
One stop if you're angry.
2 hops this time.
There is a look at Vice, an angry foot stomping, and then Lowry just tries to kick the bag of the dust of sneezing and choking in Pam's hand, and then looks at the other two, and then looks back at Pam.
Help!
Nose goes.
Insight check to figure out what she's saying. I got a 16.
I guess that would be for performance?
Yeah.
Maybe? Okay. 12? No, 13.
Okay. Yeah. 13. So what are you inferring?
Lowry is trying to remind Pam of something. Is what Clout would get.
What is she trying to remind him of, though? Oh, I guess Clout wouldn't know.
But you get the idea that she's trying
hang on.
to.
She's trying to remind you of something, I think.
Okay, let me think about things that have happened that I might have missed. Toys. Candy.
I met you guys on the
Child
bridge.
labor, bird calls.
We could lace the candy with the dust of sneezing and choking.
Oh, they're also possibly part toy themselves. So they have a mechanism in their back that operates as a turnstile, a winding system. I don't think it actually does any mechanical. It spins based on their mood. If it spins real fast, they're happy. If it spins real slow, they're not. And if it comes to a stop at any point, I think they're heckin' mad.
Why would
she loves candy. That's one thing that we learned about. Oh, she flies on a rocking horse.
Why would we need to look at the key in her back when we be able to just look at her face?
Is this the thing I forgot, Lowry?
Angry thumping, and Lowry is just going to thump, 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 and then whoop. I can't be the emotional support animal if you two can go and ask for an uncommon magic item from the person in the cave that you're mad at. Go get magic things.
I don't know. I'd say it worked.
And I feel like, Lowry, when you come out and start yelling, like you see a little, like surprise face on Clapperclaw's chest. He hasn't heard you yell before.
Oh, yeah, so they were offering, to make, as reparations, magic items for y'all for, being a landlord.
There is just a gentle squeeze on Lowry's shoulder. Just a reaffirming squeeze.
I can only wild shape twice per day. Twice. That was one. I can do it twice.
Oh, I mean, it worked for its initial task. You managed to reach to Clout.
Cloud will just pat her on the back. You did good.
Her foot absentmindedly kicked.
Still tapping.
Stumps. Oh, it's adorable.
Sorry, it happens sometimes.
To feel like you would want to go back inside and get something from the.
I mean, if it's
Well,
something
well,
that's... If it's something that'll up our game, sure.
If you don't want to talk to him, Cloud, someone else can ask for what you want for you. But I'm not turning back into a bunny. At least, not today. In case, I'd have to turn into like a giant snake or a spider or a badger or a fox.
You know how to turn into an alicorn?
No, I've never seen.
So you have to
I
see
have-
the creature
I
first.
did.
But
Gotcha,
you could turn into a
gotcha.
horse and then we can just glue the horn on you and the fake Vice keeps walking.
Why are you... Excuse me. No, you get back here.
I better not see that guy again. But, hey, Pam, if you want to grab something for the both of us, I'd be appreciative.
Oh, Vice is heading to the cave.
Oh yeah.
Oh, quickly shuffle after Vice.
I'll wait out here.
This Pamferdam can't just... You cannot just glue a horn to a horse's head. That's not how it works.
And as that's like drifting off, so Vice, you and Pam enter into Nib's sanctuary, their cave.
Hello, who goes there? Hello? I know you're
You-
there.
You might have known me by another name way back when.
Oh. And which name was that?
Ulysses, when I was younger.
There is a solemn nod. I thought that was you.
I was told by my friend here that you were offering some services.
Yes. With
Wow.
the funds that I have stored away here, I can, as you've seen, spin items of power together and give to those who stop by.
I'm something of the sneaky sort.
I have. There are boots, there are gloves,
Boots.
weapons. If I do make weapons, I would recommend against using them on me to steal this gold.
No, I'll take the boots.
Okay. There are
And,
boots of elven kind.
As reciprocity dictates, Vice goes into his jacket and leaves a hip flask on whatever work surface he's working on.
He's just on his knees next to a spinning wheel.
Oh, he'll leave it on the ground. Stout barrel whiskey from the brewery back in Waterdeep.
It's been years since I've had a drink. Thank you.
It's not bad anymore, you know. The Southern Ward.
I assume so. I'm not there anymore.
Even after you left, it was a bit of a shit show.
He nods. Oh, does an old man good to hear the things are healing. Is your other friend not coming back?
I'm here as representative of them for the fact that they are filled with intense anger for your existence.
I understand.
Have you heard of an uncommon instrument known as the Foshukian fucking hell? Have you heard of the Fachluklin Bandor?
Sangelach.
It's hard to do an accent and speak Gaelic at the same time.
Fachluklin Bandor.
Well, I would
Just
also.
Pam clears their throat and like very like just Mediaflare voice.
Yeah, let me just.
I meant to say the Fachluklin Bandor.
I would also recommend a what's it called? A rhythm maker's drum. The +1 variant is a uncommon item, and it gives you a +1 to your saving throws and DCs for your bard spells. And as an action, you can regain a bardic inspiration using the magic item.
And do you want the drum or the instrument?
Well, so the instrument, at least I know it does, it causes psychic damage if used properly. It can make people fly if you play the right song, invisible, can make a big magic stick and talk to bunnies. That's the reason why it came up. It's a bardic instrument that does psychic damage and you can talk to bunnies.
Why
And
do you need
probably
to talk?
a larger array of animals.
Oh, that's to talk to. That's a meat thing.
And he grabs some coins and then he puts them into his hand. And they're still coins. And you see him tilt his head.
I understand that they don't wish to speak to me. But I'm afraid the magic will only work in their presence.
If they don't want to talk to you, but they just stand here, will it work?
You're outside of the cave.
Oh, I came in with y'all.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says
They would have to be the one to request it.
Do you want me to go talk to him?
Go for it.
Disguise? Do you think a disguise spell would work? I could just turn into Clout.
I don't know. With hag magic, usually it's pretty solid.
Also, Cloud has like a full 2 feet on you.
That's true.
So, yeah, I think you would probably be the best one to ask then.
Okay. If I come back as a bunny again, please don't get into any fights. I can't help you into like anything useful after this. She'll head out of the cave. Clout?
Yeah.
So, there's a bit of a hiccup with the plan.
Yeah.
And apparently, due to the way that the magic works, you need to request the item that you want.
He just sort of nods. It has to be me.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you don't, if it's too much to ask, you don't have to go in. But I just,
As she says that, he'll just start walking in.
do you want me to turn into a bunny again?
He like looks at her, gives her kind of a sad smile, and says, "I don't think that'll be necessary. But thanks."
All right.
And he'll walk in. He doesn't look at the guy.
There's a soft jog up behind you, and she'll just hold your hand.
Did you pick something out? To Pam.
Yeah. So the item I was thinking of now, this is a brass range musical instrument similar to citterns. It's called a Fochluk and Bandor. Have you heard of this?
History check, I suppose, to know what that is.
Or performance.
Or
That's not how
performance.
they pronounced it the first time. It sounds a little different.
I got a 10 on that. I think that he just sort of like raises his eyebrows at Pam, and then looks over in the guy's direction and points at Pam and says what they said.
And Nib will nod and he'll grab some sets of coins as well. And you see that he begins to spin it and turn it into this instrument shape. And then you see him set, like after he has the base, almost in like a 3D printer where it kind of like spirals around to create the general gist of it. You see him take an equivalent number of strings that the Fochluk and Bandor has, and you see him string it very quickly. And then you see him set it forward. And it is still glowing golden. And he says,
I know that this won't make up for what I did, but know that my penance is being paid. I was a filthy landlord, a good-for-nothing, who made their means by extorting the people. I was unhelpful, a roach to society, and I know what the answer most likely will be. But from the heart of a man who is aged and sorrowed and learned a valuable lesson, humble, will you forgive me?
and there is this glowing instrument in his hands.
The entire time, Clout is looking past him, and to the untrained eye, it probably looks like he's just being petty. But if you follow his eye line, he's looking at a particular figure behind him. And when he says humble, he just sort of blinks and finally looks down at him. And he just sort of sighs. I know a thing or two about regret. Forgiveness doesn't make it any better.
And the rest of you see, like, Clout, you see shoulder slump, and, like, there is just, the rest of you see him nod. He says, I understand.
And he sort of looks down at the violin and says, but hey, this looks really good. So, thanks.
Clout, as you accept this gift, and there is not an air of forgiveness, rather an air of understanding. You don't necessarily say you forgive this individual. But as you take the glowing instrument from them as part of their apology to you, in the same way as when you are descending a mountain pass or on a plane when it's lowering, you hear that, like, you feel that, like, pressurization pop in your ears as something sort of fizzles out. And as that something fizzles, and you look down at the scribbles upon this man's face, you watch as these scribbles dissipate. And before you sits a very tired, very weary-looking sad man in a blindfold, no longer under the effects of your face blindness. And that's where we're going to call it for tonight's session. So with that, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful session of Dungeons and or Dragons. Who knows if it really is a dragon in the woods? We all seem to think that it's a green one. Tune in next week, possibly, to find out more. But with that, I always have a great time whenever these folks are on the channel. RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi everybody, my name's RJ. You can catch me RJ2 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my friends. I post there whenever I go live in places, and you can catch that at DanaeKeener.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, the Hype Goblin. You can find me under all social media as the Hype Goblin, where I do a bunch of cosplay stuff regarding Lowry and my other characters that I play in TTRPGs all over the internet. You can see me going live on the Bird app, Twitter. That's what it's called. It's called Twitter. RJ just talked about it. I post there every time I go live, so be sure to follow me there. But also, I'd like to note that on April 9th and 10th, I will be taking part in Mercy Road, which is benefiting Child's Play charity over on Saucefire TV's channel on Twitch. Please, please, please go follow Saucefire's Twitch channel and Saucefire on Twitter so you can stay up to date with our campaign. Last year, we raised more money than the group from Child's Play that was participating in the event. And this year, you know, it's an unspoken rivalry, I believe, and we're trying to do that again. So come on over. We raised I believe it was $5,600 last year, and this year we're shooting for $5,601. So please, if you can, check out Saucefire's stuff. All of the information is up there, as well as all of the wonderful, fantastic special guests that are getting announced every single week leading up to the event. And, you know, it's just a really fun time to watch Saucefire DM for 24 hours straight. So if you follow me for anything, if you follow anyone for anything, please follow that. Let's be DanaeKeener.com.
And I go by the name of Mediaflare on most platforms. You can find me on Twitter at Mediaflare. You can even see me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mediaflare. You can find me on Twitch doing D&D streams, other types of tabletop adventures, as well as some gaming. The thing that's coming up next would be a tabletop stream on Monday. Also look forward to seeing my face here on Indoor Adventure not a lot more often, but at least 100% more often. DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D. Sorry, it's a surprise every week when I look down and see what the caption said. And it distracts me so. But yes, you can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter. I've got a pinned tweet there that has all the things that I do on Twitch. So you can go and check that out, DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am, but if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday, and Sundays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's right, it's the same time all across the board. It makes it much easier to promote, and a lot easier to say. Who would have thought? But just like this 3 times a week. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we've played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself, or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on our Discord. That's right, we have a link to a Discord in the Twitch chat to the side or in the description of this video or audiocast down below. Hop into that Questions for the Courts chat and we will do our best to respond to those questions in time. But for now, we are going to be heading off into that there after show. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!